today we're talking about journals. So I've started journaling since I was 8, since I started reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I was like, keeping a diary seems really cool. But the thing is, that system didn't work for me. Writing down what happened every day as a kid seems kind of pointless to me because nothing really is happening in my life except for like homework and petty fights with my friends. So eventually I gave up and I thought, writing a diary is kind of boring. But I think I developed a habit where I kind of process my emotions through writing. So the process of journaling to me, since a young age, the conception of it is very much a brain dump activity. I can just write anything I want and no one is supposed to look at this. I remember when I was younger, I always had this fear that people are going to look into my journal. I remember I used to buy locks to lock my journal. They do sell notebooks like this one maybe. They will have like hooks where you can lock them. I found those fun. I just really like having a personal space. To me, a journal is always this space that you can just be yourself and you don't have to be politically correct. You don't have to be what anyone else wants you to be. It doesn't have to be performative. You are finally yourself, your true essence as a human being, and I love that. I love that. This habit kept with me for so many years, but unfortunately I don't have my younger journals anymore because I moved when I was 18, and then all of those are they're just somewhere, okay? I don't know where they are. Maybe some strangers are looking at my journals right now, but I lost them. After 18, I moved. I got some other journals. So today I just wanted to talk about how my journaling system changed throughout the years and possibly some tips for you in breaking into a new journal, like starting a new system and finding out what suits best for you. I am always obsessed with this notion of breaking into your point shoes. I don't do ballet, but I have always found the sport to be so beautiful. It captures a very destructive nature of human nature, but also you can see beauty from it. You know what I mean? This concept always fascinates me, which is destroying a pair of perfectly made shoes in order to make it your own and then to customize it until it fits you perfectly the way you want it. So I apply this to a lot of my personal objects, especially my journals. I can't get used to using a new journal until I have found like this familiar pattern with it. And then with each journal, there is a different sort of rhythmic pattern that I have developed. Walk with me, okay? Walk with me. This is my newest journal. For me, I don't really like spending on my journal. I usually keep it to around 10 to 20 ringgit. I tend to just get a random notebook, then I just start writing. What matters is what's inside anyway, so who cares? But this year I caved, okay? I absolutely love all the Louise Carmen journal and also traveler's notebooks. Those are so pretty, but I cannot justify spending so much on a journal like that. I kind of had this visual with me for the longest time, like, okay, this is my dream journal. It looks like this. And then one fine day, I found this beauty. I actually got this for only 20 ringgit. And it is in my favorite shade of brown. The reason I changed my journal is because I find that all of my old systems don't work anymore. I'm going to go through those systems later. Essentially, I don't keep my management stuff, like managing my life kind of stuff, in my journal anymore. Like calendars, events, things to do, goals. I want to go back to the essence of why I keep a journal, which is to brain dump and write all of my thoughts in here. So for my current journal, I only keep the first insert, which is a writings journal. The system goes like this. I write the date at the top, the title, if there is a title and then the content. So I just write whatever I want to write about in one page, and then that's it. I just stop myself there. This is a really good practice for me, especially because I'm starting to write Substack articles. It helps me form the most basic blueprint first, like what I think about this topic without any external influences. Some ideas, for example, that I explore is the constant struggle between self-soothe and locking in. And then there's one on human nature pipeline, from being faithful to skeptical, from fighting for good to indifference, and from bliss to nihilism. Is that how you pronounce it? But yes. I have the other insert, which is a commonplace notebook. So a commonplace notebook just means everything and anything you want to write about. For me, I just keep it to lists. So any list. I love lists. So I keep a lot of like TBR lists, to watch lists, spring cleaning list, traveling packing list. What would the perfect partner for me look like? Fun stuff like that. I just keep it all in this insert. For this, I think I got the whole rhythm down already, which is I just write whenever I have a thought popping up in my head, or if I feel the brain fog and I just really want to hyper focus on one thing and just write on it and to realign my stream of consciousness. That's it. This is it. And then the other one is just when I don't want to write and I want to list down things. This system's so much easier to keep because I don't have to have a schedule. Which brings me to my last system. My last system is in a Muji planner. So actually the Muji planner is a really, really good organizational planner. I have a lot of colleagues that use Muji planners and it works great for them. I bought this a little bit too big, but the small one works great. The reason I stopped using this is because I couldn't really stick to a schedule of like making the spreads, setting up my spreads and stuff like that. Even though technically you don't really need to set up anything with this Muji planner, but I still like to set it up with stickers and monthly things like what I want to do, because you have like the weekly spreads here. And then you can just write your to-do list and notes over here. I would love this as a student, but currently, because I'm working, I don't really have daily to-do lists. It's just the same old tasks every day. So I don't really need a to-do list column. And also, I don't need to take notes every day. So eventually, I just kind of grew out of this planner. If you are buying a Muji planner like this or any other similar planners, I would seriously recommend you to just sit down with yourself and think, when are you going to update your journal? Is it going to be like a journal that you bring everywhere and then you can just note down things? If that is it, I congratulate you. It's going to work so well for you, because I do love this planner a lot. It's just that I don't bring my journals with me. The reason I started this planner was because in 2024, I wasn't journaling at all. I didn't keep anything because I was so sick of it. I was like, you know, I just want to live life like that. I want to live life like I do not care. I do not care. So I was like, you know, let's just stop journaling. Let's stop noting down things. And then by the end of 2024, I was kind of depressed. Looking back at the year, I do not know what I did. I could not remember what I did. I felt so empty inside because it's like, I think I wasted a year. The only way I could remember is if I look through my notes app or my photo album and then I'm like, oh, so this happened during this date. I did not like that. I felt like an outsider looking into my own life. I didn't feel like I'm engaged and alive enough. That's why I went and bought this. It's mainly for me to have a quick overview of what I did during this month. I think it would work if I kept up with it, but I'm not very consistent as the months start getting busier. And then I'm just going to go through my older systems. Back then, I used to do rotation system. I do not like this system at all. I had a blank notebook that I doodle and write poetry in. Some sort of half-assed poetry to kind of navigate some really painful moments in my life and to make sense of trauma, I guess. This is a journal that I do not revisit at all. This is just something that I write and then I treat it as like a recycle bin. It's going away from my mind. And then I keep another creative outlet journal, which is all of my collages, my favorite films or film lists, really nice messages from people that I've received. There are some sketches as well. Keeping this journal made me realize that I'm not really a big making art person. It doesn't do anything to me, except I guess I can look back and think, oh, I drew this in this year. What I find to be most relatable and what works the most for me is still writing. So I have a few here. Okay, before I go into my writing journals, whenever I go traveling, I do buy like a really thin notebook like this just to keep my travel entries. So I keep all of the photos, thoughts that I have during the trip, stickers, tickets that I found, and also anyone that I've met who inspired some other new thought in me. I just jot it down here. I lived in Seoul for a few months, so at one point in my soul journey, not soul but soul journey, is that I got depressed. So there are actually some darker poems or writings here, and then I wrote a letter to myself and I kept it here. Kind of cute. Even this book is bought in Seoul, so yeah, I like the idea of having a travel journal. And then these are my writing journals. These are really pretty printed journals. I adore them so much. I especially love like the artwork that they have, like for each page. It just feels like I'm getting a new surprise whenever I write in this journal. So this one was my journal when I just graduated high school and I'm trying to transition from high school to a new environment. So looking through this journal, right, it was a lot about appreciating all of the friendships that I had in high school, but also watching it becoming not as important anymore. These people who might have played a big role in my life back then, their roles in my life are slowly dissolving. It was a mourning process of that, and also trying to figure out how am I going to make new friends and stuff like that. A lot of like really emotional stuff, I think, and a lot of manifestation lists, because I'm like thinking, okay, what do I actually want in my life? How do I want my life to look like? This journal is really special to me because of that. This journal was when I finished this one. This is just me going through hell in university. Just 19 to 21, these few years are the pivotal moments of my life where I gain a sense of who I am, and I was thrown into a lot of situations and I met a lot of people and I was in a lot of different circles through all of these weird, odd, but also fascinating experiences that I got to know who I am exactly. This journal is like the culmination of self-exploration. Just really messy stuff. Changing from pens to pencil, changing from different languages, from like English to Mandarin to Korean, having all sorts of different fonts. Like when I write angrily, it's just all over the place. And then when I am kind of writing about something that I have already thought this through, and you'll see my font being really pretty and just composed. Going through this is quite a roller coaster ride. I'm glad I kept this though, because I can never relive these experiences again. Even if I'm reading all of my old entries, I can't re-feel all of these emotions anymore. So this is really precious to me. It's only like finishing these two journals that I realized this is it for me. This is what journaling means to me and what it should be. It's just for me to note down all of the thoughts I have at this age, trying to find an answer, but I can't. And then now looking back at these entries, it feels kind of liberating to know that I have the answers now. And even though I can't go back in time to tell the younger me the true answer that I found, but it's comforting to know that I'm here now and I've progressed, and all of the despair that my younger self has gone through, it's not for nothing. So yeah, this was like my past system. I think the main reason why I journal is because my mind is always so hyperactive. I need an outlet to help me focus on the present moment, especially because I can't write as fast as I think. So it really helps me connect my physical body with my mind. I like how I can zero in on my stream of consciousness and then just materialize it like that. chef's kiss. I love this process. So yeah, let me know how you journal, or if you have any recommendations on like journaling videos that you enjoy watching. I don't really like watching people preparing their journals because I don't do that, but I like when people share their thoughts about journaling. So if you have any recommendations, do let me know. I would love to watch them. But yes, thanks for watching. The light is horrible now, but thank you for tolerating with that. Bye!